Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're doing a little more survival cooking with some freeze-dried wholesalers food, and I have a brand new product of theirs to introduce to you, so let's get started. Alright everybody, welcome back. So today we're going to do a little bit of barbecue chicken sandwiches, and one of the reasons I love freeze-dried wholesalers is because they offer you the plain ingredient. I have chicken here. I can prepare this any way I want. If I want to make, chicken parmesan, I can use the chicken breast. If I want to make this into some kind of chicken and rice dish or some kind of oriental or Asian type food, I can do that, as opposed to freeze-dried meals that are already prepared, and that's all you get, and there's nothing else there. Now, freeze-drying. The reason I like freeze-drying is it removes 98% of the water. Dehydration removes about 80%. You get a lot of dehydrated foods. They don't have as long a shelf life either, and dehydrated foods lose about 50% of their nutritional value, whereas freeze-dried foods retain all the taste, smell, texture, and nutritional value in as their original form. So that's one of the reasons I'm a lot more focused on freeze-dried foods as opposed to dehydrated. Freeze-dried also takes less fuel to cook. If you've ever cooked a dehydrated meal, you know it takes about 10 to 20 minutes to rehydrate, providing you using boiling water and a longer wait time and more stove fuel. With these, I can stick that in water, and we will do this, and hydrate it right away. So let's get started first off by showing you the new product that we will be doing in a future video. I can't wait to try these out myself. I'll probably open it up and try one before the video just to make sure I hydrate them correctly. And that is the freeze-dried mini egg rolls. These are really cool. They got vegetables inside. They're fully cooked, so all you have to do is hydrate them. I probably would put these in water and then kind of hydrate them with steam like I did the other dessert video. Remember when I did the cakes on that video? If you haven't seen it, go back to the strawberry shortcake video and you'll see how I did that. It's basically taking a strainer basket, covering it with tin foil, putting it over a pot with boiling water, and the steam goes through and kind of hydrates it. I wouldn't just stick these in water and expect them to taste good forever. So what I do is put them in water, soak them a little bit, wrap them up in a wet paper towel, and then put them in that contraption, and it would hydrate them perfectly. Although you probably could stick them in water long enough and they'd be fine. These run about $33.95 for the bag. Now that is the retail price. Again, if you click my link down below, that link that I have in the description below, you will save 15% off anything on the site. There's no, you have to click it and only save on this product or that product. Click the link, save 15% on everything they got. And given that, prices are rising, that's a good time to start doing that. It's also a good time to start putting away food, given the potentials we see with food shortages or, the issues we're having with the ports of getting food in. There's a lot of food that comes from overseas. We may not know it. It may be our produce and we don't realize it. So there's a lot of stuff you can choose from on freeze-dried wholesalers. You can check it out. There's a ton of stuff there to check out. But anyway, we're not going to cook this one today. I just wanted to make you aware of it because I hadn't seen it before. And we are going to do this in a future video. So let's get to the main ingredients of what we're doing today. All right, first off, we're using the freeze-dried, fully cooked pulled chicken. That is over here. Again, $32.65. If I could only speak this morning. $32.65 a bag. Again, you'll save 15% by clicking my link. And just go there and order it. You'll get it cheaper. It is fully cooked product, very simple to do. I've used this in other videos before. Basically, you're going to cover it with water, let stand until hydrated, drain excess water, and serve cold or warm it up any way you want. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to put some spices in here and some barbecue sauce and make it really yummy. Next, you have the freeze-dried cheese here. This is the shredded cheddar cheese. This is $32.85, and don't forget my discount. This is fairly simple to hydrate. I do something a little bit different on this. I use a minimal amount of cold water, okay? I use really cold water and a minimal amount, just enough to cover the cheese. I put it in a Ziploc bag, fold it up, and put it in my fridge for about 45 minutes. That's why I've already hydrated it. I will get that out and show it to you in a sec. It's still in my fridge. Usually that works out perfectly. Actually, it always works out perfectly. That way you get nice, fresh kind of, it feels like cheese. It doesn't feel like mush. I've had some problems in the past trying to rehydrate cheese without using the fridge. The fridge, I don't know, for some reason the cold water seems to soak the water in there, and that's why you use a minimal amount of water. I wouldn't say dump this in a cup and fill the cup up to here with water and have the cheese at the bottom. I don't want mush. So that's the way I do that. So let me go get the cheese and show you that hydrated first, and then we will go and hydrate the chicken. All right, so here we go. We've got the cheese in here, and as you can see, it actually looks like cheese. It actually looks like shredded cheddar cheese. I'm going to take a little out. It is still a little damp, but that will probably resolve itself once we put it into the mixture. And what I'm going to do with this, being that I want to do this in one pan, with one pan and one burner. I like to do this stuff in less than optimal conditions. Yeah, I could bring out a Coleman stove with my 3 burners and do each one in an individual pan. What I like to do is do this on one burner and show you that if you're doing this in your home after an emergency, I wouldn't necessarily use the stove that I'm going to be using in my home, but if you're doing it in your home after an emergency, you don't need a ton of dishes and plates and stuff. It's not complicated. You can make this stuff really, really simple, and it's really tasty too. So let's hydrate the chicken, being that we got the cheese done, and I'm just going to put that there. Open up the chicken bag. There we go. All right. And once again, let's take out our oxygen absorber and our desiccant in there. I went down too far. Anyway, I'll show you what the chicken looks like unhydrated. This stuff feels like styrofoam if you've never seen it before. So we're just going to stick some in there. I don't need a lot because we're making a pulled chicken barbecue sandwich, not pulled pork. That should do it. Yeah, that's actually a little bit extra, but that's okay. So I'm going to add some water to it now, and with this I just cover it. I just fill it up to the top. Not all the way to the top of the cup, but I fill it to the top of the chicken. And it will float up a little bit. My suggestion is take a spoon or whatever, or your hands if you're so inclined, and just keep pushing the stuff under. Some of it will rise to the top, and you'll find half a piece of chicken hydrated and the top half not. So you want to just every few minutes just go in there and kind of push it around a bit. So we're going to give this about 10 minutes to hydrate, and I'll bring you back when that's ready and drained off, and then we'll start making our food. Alright, so we got the stove we're using today. It is the, I believe this is the military version of the Peak 1 multi-fuel stove. The box and this are both kind of very nondescript and plain. It's got the serial number on it, national serial number. Chicken's almost hydrated. We're going to do that in a minute. I want to get the stove going first. And if you've ever seen these, this is kind of handy to know how to use this kind of stuff. You're going to open the valve up, pump it up about 20 to 30 times. I'm not really counting. If you don't pump it up enough, what you'll get is kind of a sputtering in the beginning. But generally, these are pretty easy to pressurize. They work very, very well. So I'm going to give it a few more pumps. And for those of you counting, please tell me how many times I pumped it. I have no idea. All right. Let's turn it on ever so gently. It'll click on. It's got quite a positive click when it turns on. It's a little high. There we go. We're going to let it run. It's going to be a little bit, crazy for a bit. You'll see the yellow flame because it's not fully ready yet. It's got to heat up that tube to heat up the gas after I pressurized it. You give it a few pumps after you're done too, and it'll be really good. So I'm going to let that heat up and get ready, and we're going to drain our chicken, and I'll bring you back. All right, so this stove is not known for being a simmering stove, but I have it fairly low. Again, we're really just heating this stuff up. The chicken in here is all drained. You can take a look at it. Looks pretty good. I'm going to take, again, not an optimum item to use, a titanium pan. I'm going to put it on here. We're going to toss a little butter in there so I don't burn it to the bottom. Just a little bit, not too much, a little bit more in there. And this is, honestly, this is about as low as the stove goes. It is not, it's awesome for boiling water and stuff, and for cooking some meals, but not the best at simmering. So we're going to toss this in. There'll still be a little residual water, not a big deal. Take a little freeze-dried onion, a little bit of freeze-dried garlic, and some salt and pepper, which I have mixed up in these little containers here, these little Tic Tac containers. And I'm just going to kind of brown it. I'm not going to go crazy. I want to keep them on the sides away from the center there because that's where the heat's going. I just want to heat this stuff up. I don't want to burn it or cook it or anything like that. So, When we are all done with this, I'm going to put it back in that cup and we're going to toast our bread on this. But I'm ready to put in the barbecue sauce, so we'll put in a couple scoops of that. And this is very simple. Since the chicken's pre-cooked, there really isn't too much to do with this. You're really just heating it up. Now my trick for this, again, if you're doing this on one stove without a way to melt the cheese on your bread, is to simply just put the cheese in with it. You know, can't hurt. It's going to melt anyway. It's all going to the same place. So I'm going to toss the cheese in there. Okay, there we go. And it will kind of have the appearance of melted cheese if you let it sit too long out after having it in the fridge. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to give this a few minutes on a low kind of simmer. Again, I'm going to push it to the sides because our main flame is in the center here. We don't want to burn anything. I'm going to give this a few minutes. Now I'm going to show you how I heat up my roll after I move this stuff to another container. Right. So I successfully turned on the camera without getting stuff all over the back of it. I'll tell you, the stuff I've had to clean off my YouTube camera is hysterical when I'm cooking. Alright, we're just going to stick this in here because it's already warmed up. You keep it, if you're in a colder environment, you can always keep it close to your heat source. That should work pretty well. I'm just going to simply give this a quick wipe out. Okay, no big deal, not much in there. I'm going to move this back a little bit, and I'm going to add some butter. If I can find my fork there. There we go. Then I'm going to take just a regular bread roll, and I'm going to give you a price breakdown on this in a second here, as far as the stuff I used outside of the freeze-dried wholesalers food. And we're just going to cut it open like that, kind of a regular sandwich roll. That was picked up at Walmart. I believe they are, if I can find my price I wrote down for it, $1.49 for a pack of like 5 or 6 of them. I'm just going to do that. Toss that in there, and when it's all done and toasted up for you, I'll bring you back, show you the finished product. Alright, so the stove is off. This is probably just nice and brown by now. There we go, a little toasted. And of course it got stuck to the bottom. We'll get that out of there. There we go. I pulled it off and it still got stuck. So you got a nice little toasted sandwich there. Let's put that over here so it's not in the way. What I'm going to do is usually I have a little bit of barbecue sauce left over. Just spread it on there. And then you can just put this on here with the cheese already in it. And you are good to go. There we go. Nice and easy. And that's why I like putting the cheese in there. It just makes it easier for you. Look, I got a little left over as a snack later. There we go. Okay. And there is your whole chicken barbecue sandwich with cheese ready to go. So I'm going to let that sit there for a sec. I'm going to put that in water. I'll bring you back. We'll cut it in half and give it a try. Okay, we got the finished product. I did want to put it on a plate just for making it look a little better. But all in all, tastes amazing. I've tried some of the chicken. I haven't tried this yet. Gotta tell you, that is really, really good. It's so simple and so easy. And even with one burner that's really not optimized for how I cooked it today. It's not a simmering type burner that would let you gently warm things up. This is a boil water as fast as you can for your freeze-dried meals or rehydrated foods or MREs or whatever. Really, for something like that, that was fairly simple to make. Very, very easy. Just 2 simple ingredients. And that's why I tell people, if you do buy freeze-dried food, it's perfectly okay to augment it with other supplies. Go out to the store, get yourself some barbecue sauce. Make sure you have spices. Make sure you have butter or even powdered butter. Whatever you need, make sure you get it ahead of time. It's not like you have to buy this food and think, that's all I need, I don't need anything else. And whatever you do, make sure you store enough water. I've seen a lot of people with tons of cans of freeze-dried food. One person had a ton of Thrive food. And I'm like, oh cool, where's your water storage? Oh, I can just get it out of the tap. Well, what happens if the tap isn't working? Well, you got all this food now, and you're going to have a nice crunchy breakfast and crunchy lunch and dinner, you know? So make sure if you're storing dehydrated, freeze-dried, whatever you're storing, make sure you have water to hydrate it. One of the reasons, like I said before, I like the freeze-dried is because it takes far less water and far less fuel, again, a commodity in here, you know, to heat it up and get it ready. You saw how quick that was. I mean, I did that even with taking breaks for the camera and putting stuff in the kitchen and cleaning it and whatever, maybe under 10 minutes. Real simple. So that is my barbecue chicken sandwich with pulled chicken. I'm going to keep calling it pulled pork. It's pulled chicken. And a little bit of the freeze-dried cheddar cheese. His link will be down below. Like I said, click that link, save 15%. Don't even need to do anything. There's no clubs to join. There's no nothing. You just click the link, and the prices will automatically be discounted 15%. He's got food stocked up. He saw this coming. He was smart enough to put a lot of food away. So he'll be selling this stuff long after the other companies start shutting down or telling you there's a month delay on food. There is a few days delay on shipping just because they're busy. There's only so many people. But maybe 2 or 3 days delay on shipping. He has the food in stock. Order it now before things get weird. Okay? Don't forget to check out all our other links. We have our Amazon affiliate store down there below. If you're interested in any of the gear that I use in my channel, usually I'll be able to add it. This isn't in there. This is a trade that I got with a friend of mine. We traded some stuff and I got that. But there is most of the stuff in there, anything you're interested in that I use in the channel. Don't forget to check out all our other links. We have our My Patriot Supply and our Thrive Life freeze-dried food as well. So check them out. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. I'm going to go have some lunch now. Stay safe and stay prepared.